everybody, my name is Jaime, also known as the Neon Warren, or really way back in the past, the Supernova Studios. From now on, it's gonna be the Neon Warren. This video is a sketchbook tour, if you couldn't tell by the title, and also by the time code. It is very, very long. I promise I tried to cut this down as much as possible. That's why it's in 2 parts, at least so you guys don't have to watch like a movie's length of me yapping about sketchbooks and all that kind of nonsense. But anyways, I promise it's all good information, all fun stuff about what I've been doing for the past couple of years, since I'm pretty sure I have not uploaded in like at least 2 years. But anyways, I've uploaded sketchbook videos in the past. They were usually ones that were like just overlaid with music and stuff. That was very popular at the time, so that's kind of why that was a thing. But I decided, for a couple of different reasons, to do another sketchbook tour, but this time with my voice, mostly because it's been a while, and I think hearing someone actually talk about like the sketches and everything, rather than just kind of looking at them and making your own assumptions and everything. But I thought it'd be more fun to actually talk about them, so that's why I kind of put this video together. I'm also introducing you guys to my voice, a voice reveal by the way, at least if you haven't been following me on Twitch. Anyways, then it's a voice reveal. I basically haven't drawn in any sketchbooks since high school, since those old videos, so this sketchbook tour is just basically a new journey through all those sketchbooks from when I was taking my art degree, which I graduated with last spring. I'm doing a business degree right now, but that's a whole other story for the future, and I haven't really been drawing any sketchbooks since then. All of these were recorded back in March, so it's been a while that this video has been coming. But yeah, the reason I'm throwing on this little bit of an intro to the beginning of this already very long video is just to show you guys that I am alive. It's been a while since I've uploaded anything, I know. Just things have been very busy. I've been going through lots of stuff personally. That's been a whole ordeal of its own. I've been streaming on Twitch, if you couldn't tell by the VTuber model. I usually don't use this model. I was kind of messing around with it. It's a very basic model. This is kind of a debut of this model. I have not paid for the stuff that I need to actually make it fully detailed and everything. So I'm very limited in just moving side to side and then blinkies, and also of course moving my mouth around. But streaming on Twitch kind of got me used to my voice a little bit. I have major voice, I think it's called dysphoria, which basically just means I really do not like the way my voice sounds. So please be kind. But yeah, thanks to Twitch I've been kind of getting used to that. Usually I use a PNG tuber model, but this one's just a cute little fun one for you guys to see and hear me talk, rather than just seeing that little guy bounce up and down. But I've been active on Twitch a little bit, but on top of getting you guys reacquainted with myself in this video, in this little intro, I'm also doing this as part of my plot to introduce you guys to some new forms of content that are going to be coming on their way. They've also been a very long time in the making. I have been working on I guess a desktop setup tour kind of video. Those were really popular like 2020, I think. So I'm a little late to that, but I thought they were really fun. I was obsessed with them also all of 2024, so I have a bunch of videos to put together of how my current setup looks that I thought would be fun to share. So we're working on that, and another video that's on its way that I've been making for a while, a little more recently. At the time of recording this little intro, I've been trying to put together a shop launch kind of video vlog. I hate saying that word, but it's true. It's a vlog of me kind of launching that online shop, kind of getting ready for that, and also just more of my journey as an art vendor and stuff. I was, throughout all of 2024, that's what I was doing, was being an art vendor, selling at a bunch of different conventions, local art markets and stuff. I'm just a lot of that. I was kind of just getting used to how all that works. Lots of cool stuff happened that year. I wish I could have recorded it, but I usually go to these events all by myself. I don't have any help with me to do any of that stuff, so I kind of needed the equipment and also a bunch of other stuff to kind of get that started. So I'm finally in a place where I think I can do that, and have gotten my setup kind of down and stuff like that. I've kind of gotten enough experience to be like, I can record and also be trying to do all this stuff at the same time. It's a lot. But yeah, that is something that I'm kind of getting more into. You'll hear me yap more about each of those things in their respective videos. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of tell you guys about that stuff. Let you guys know I'm streaming on Twitch. And yeah, that's kind of it. This whole sketchbook video is just a big old plot into getting you guys into the idea of me talking about stuff and getting into all of that, because we gotta do what we gotta do to make art a career. That's what I'm trying to do, my guys. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be a learning journey for all of us, but I promise it's gonna be fun. But yeah, that's kind of it though. If you want to hear more about my stuff and everything, if you want to talk to me about anything, you can follow me on Twitch. You can talk to me and yap there, watch me play some games, draw some stuff, all that kind of cool kind of things. You can also follow me on Instagram. I don't really post any art on there anymore, just so you know. If you know the situation with Instagram and all the junk right now. But yeah, for the most part, that's kind of it. I've kind of been posting on Blue Sky. If you want to see some of my art, it will be on there when I have it. Sorry, this video is so long. Again, I really tried to cut this down, and I tried to keep this intro short. But in general, I just hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys are excited for the new content that's going to come up. Even if you are just playing those videos in the background while you're doing your own thing, I totally understand. I am a big yapper, and my voice right now sounds way better than it does in any of the other videos. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking around. I hope you keep sticking around, and I hope you enjoy this video. Enjoy hearing me yap and talk about drawing stuffs. Alrighty, you have fun. Bye-bye. And there is a lot of them. I honestly don't know if I showed any of these in other videos. I really doubt that I did. Because I think these are from like when I was working at a movie theater, and I did have a lot of time to like draw stuff there. Just when it was like not busy and all that, I had time to actually draw all that stuff. But probably none of them are really finished. I think I know for sure this one isn't finished. But I've had a habit basically since I've been out of high school that I'd never finish sketchbooks. This is the newest sketchbook that I've had. I started using this one. I can only judge them by where I've worked by now. This sketchbook came after I quit the movie theater, I'm pretty sure. Some of it might have been just before I left the movie theater, but this is when I started having like a new job and stuff, and I think it also came along when I started art selling. So if you don't know, I'm an art vendor now too. There's tons of stuff to update people on. But anyway, these Sonic stickers came from conventions. This is one of the stickers. This is my sticker. I sell this sticker. This also came from, well, this definitely came from like a little con kind of thing, these two. These ones are actually from like a mini little market event thing, and so is that one. So yeah, so that's that one. That's the most recent one, and also the least finished and least with the amount of actual stuff drawn in it, and I'll show you later. But these are all the sketchbooks I've done since the last tour, and I'm sure there's actually more, but apparently trying to sketch stuff when you're not in school is very difficult. I do have a lot of sketches like on my iPad and stuff, because I started kind of going there for when I wanted to draw stuff. Since like I have my drawing tablets, I have all the stuff I can draw on. So, and I bring my iPad everywhere, so it's also where I usually tend to sketch and stuff. But I've been watching some stuff, and I've been reminded of like my sketchbooks and sketchbook videos and all that. So I'm thinking I want to get back into it. So I started drawing in this one again, actually. But I figure I really want to get a video out that's not like animated stuff, because I know people expect that from me, and I think it's been like 2 years since I last uploaded literally anything. that was like finished and whatever. And I'm working on stuff. I have stuff to work on that I could post and all that, but I don't. Really. They're not ready. So we're gonna kind of go into other content. And besides, that's what I kind of want to do anyway. I want to kind of go into other areas of art stuff because that's what I always wanted to do. But anyway, we are gonna start with this boy right here. He might actually be the second most recent. So actually, when do we do this one? I know this one's a little older. I started like getting into like different types of sketchbooks for a tiny bit. And might have also just become what was more affordable. This is a lot cheaper than this was. I think this is like a Canson, nope, sketchbook or something. But yeah. I used to write the dates on all the sketchbooks and stuff like that, but I didn't do that here. That's why I have no idea when these things were. So this thing fell down. I was gonna say stuff about the stickers, but these are, I don't know if they're as popular anymore. I mean, I never hear stuff about them. I know people like them, like furry stuff and whatever. High-end agenda stickers. These shitty stickers that are actually scented, but they do not stick at all. I think I kept these stickers for a really long time, and I never know where to put them. So I just finally gave up and I put them on here. And they're not my favorite stickers. Let's not look at that one. This is one of my friends. My friend is they have a very like photogenic face. They're very pretty. So I got obsessed with drawing them a little bit. Because I made them like a persona and stuff, and so like, and they were really fun to draw. Like for a while, like I wasn't drawing a lot of like my own character stuff, so this is a lot in the book. That's a lot in there. Oh my, here's a little email bunny. This is my new persona, if you haven't seen it. Their name is Buh. Your bunny, lot bunny. I'm really into like emo scene aesthetic, nostalgia. Really into emo scene aesthetic, so I drew them in actually an outfit that I have. I don't know if this is the exact shirt, but I do have these arm sleeves and stuff, so that's what that's what I drew. But and I do have a chain too. This is a little chain to connect to like the belt and whatever. This is also when I was taking my college classes. I think it was at the beginning, the very beginning, I want to say, because I remember I would sit out on these benches near the art building, and then I'd kind of do some sketches then. Yeah. Target work doodles from long ago. So I used to work at Target. I guess that's where these came from. I don't think I worked there when I had the sketchbook. I think I just had these like thrown around somewhere and I just put them in here. So there's little vent arts of me screaming, standing there at work feeling weird. These were supposed to be a dragon species that I made a long time ago. Never worked on them. I haven't worked on them for a long time. I think I called them Armor Dragons. Like Armageddon dragons or whatever. There's a whole stuff to do with them, and I think they might be in an old sketchbook video, but I have no idea for sure. Anyway, that's that one, and there's me standing around at work, I guess, because I worked in a bunch of different areas. I'm pretty sure this is like when I was at like in the self-checkout lanes, and all I had to do is kind of just stand there and kind of watch everybody. I did like working over there, but I was only there for like seasonal stuff, so it wasn't very long. And they fired me afterwards. They didn't fire me, but I was let go. They didn't need me, I guess. This is Dee's World. Dee's original concept. If you haven't, again, this is a lot of social media stuff. If you haven't heard, I've been working on a show called Dee's World. You should really go check it out. I think most of our stuff is just posted on YouTube, or not YouTube, on Twitter. The dumpster fire that it is. All the stuff's still on there for now. I'll probably keep posting on there, question mark. I don't know for sure, but a lot of our stuff's on there. I've kind of showed off the concept of the show for a while, but these are like the original sketches that came from it, because I came up with like this. You see Invader Zim ripoff. I love Invader Zim, obviously, from some of the drawings and whatever. Also, I skipped some pages apparently. Anyway, I came up with D around then, which was like, I think 2022, I want to say, just after 2022, maybe late 2021, something like that. Came up with D. She was an Invader Zim ripoff. She was like in this overly ambitious rabbit who was trying to get into the industry and make her animations. She wanted to like make a show or something like that, I think was the original concept, but she was supposed to look like this. So that's what made her like a ripoff and stuff. Just like the way she was drawn, the kind of style it was raw. She was just kind of supposed to be really simple like that. And yeah, that's it, to be honest. She was just supposed to be really simple. She had these kinds of eyes too, like she had square eyes, or like just very simplified. I like this one. She's like, but sir, we've already worked a week overnight. So she was like a director of some sort of assistant, I think, at the time. And she was supposed to get into these super wacky adventures where she like, it was very over the top, like crazy stuff happened, similar to Invader Zim, like where it's just completely random things that were happening, and like completely unrealistic to making her show and stuff. Like she, I don't know, it was just super crazy. That's what it was supposed to be. I don't know how I skipped these pages. This is my OC Michael. If you've been following me for a while, he's been a thing forever. He's also on my old like social media accounts that I have. I was working with his legs, I guess. I'm sure you can guess where this style of leg came from. But yeah, I was working with him. That was a new outfit, I guess. More of my friend doodles of me and stuff. There, and I think we're back to the stuff I missed. Okay. So more of these. These are probably more work doodles. I was thinking about something. I don't like chocolate either. Some doodles and stuff. I think these were just like with pens that I had, or just random things I found. I'm pretty sure these were with, I don't think there was any Sharpie or colored thing. I think these are with like dollar checkers or whatever to make sure they're real or whatever. I think that's what I drew those with. Maybe they might be Sharpie, but there's more of me, more blah. These are probably also just more work kind of related things. There's D. I had pitched the D World concept to one of my friends. Probably the one that you keep seeing drawn and stuff. My friend, I pitched it to them because they're like a writer and stuff, and they're really good. I pitched it to them, and then they started getting really into the concept, and so we just kind of kept talking about it, and this is some early concepts of D. She really just looks like me again. But yeah, those were kind of her. This one is a redraw of something. You can't read it now, but I don't remember what the concept was that I drew this for. I think, I don't know, actually, but he has like bloody hands or something, or he's been stabbed and he's hunched over. That's like my old demon persona. My demon persona. It's an old guy. I don't draw him as much anymore. But when I get into sketchbooks and stuff, I usually kind of default to drawing him. It's kind of fun. But yeah, I don't remember what the idea with that was. I think it was like an end of the year kind of drawing. I think it was that. Here's more D concepts. If I could just say some. So there's her trying to talk to her directors who were not listening to her. More D. She's a little more chunky now. I don't know if any newer drawings of her are in here, but she's kind of chunky now instead of like, this is a little skinnier, more of a natural body shape, I guess. I was just trying to figure out how to draw her and stuff. She was supposed to be more like less cartoony and more like human looking, and because I think that's how bunnies would kind of look, like furry stuff and all that. There's her again. I think that might just be me. I think it's D. You can tell if it's D mainly by the broken ear, like it's always bent. I guess this is the original D sketchbook. There's more of her in here. There's some expressions and stuff. You can kind of see me like getting into like her face shape and stuff. I was trying to like make it like animation friendly and stuff. So it's kind of like that, kind of trying to break down her shapes, figure out how her eyes look and stuff. I was still trying to lean into the square eyes and like Invader Zim kind of look. So this is when I worked at a movie theater. So that was, I remember that was like right after I worked at Target. I worked at the movie theater. So I think back then we had like these sticky notes and stuff we could draw, and I'm pretty sure this is receipt paper. And I just kind of drew on there, I guess, and I just threw them in here when I kept them. There's more of that same stuff. I don't know what I was going through here. When I drew that famous S, I love drawing that thing. I got obsessed with it for a while, especially when I was working there. More of those. Bunnies. There's D again. Old D design, I think. Yeah, a little old D design. I should redraw those. Those are really cute. Some of these. My Life as a Teenage Robot. There was like a project I was trying to get into that had these on there. And like for some reason I could not like figure out how to draw her properly. But when I used sticky notes, for some reason, it just came naturally to me. Like I could draw her that way, but any other way I couldn't draw it. So I just left those in there because I thought they were really nice. Sharpie doodles, I think, because I had like a black light and I was like super excited to see the colors glowing on the page. This is my I guess other persona. His name is Nisus. I guess I started drawing him then. He has a fursuit now, but I guess that's just that. These are some venti little things. You can tell why the little tears on the bunny. I think this was for like an animation I was trying to do, so I kind of like drew the expressions, which is what I tend to do. Especially like I think I was at work probably doing this, because I started just taking the sketchbook to work and whatever. But I think I was trying to draw the concept because I wasn't at home to animate it, so I coped by just drawing it instead in the sketchbooks. This is lyrics to one of my favorite movies. They have a song in there. I think it's a jukebox musical, so it's like an existing song or whatever, but I like the way they sung it in that movie. Anyway, there's these guys, kind of more doodling and stuff. I think I was just messing with expressions. This Nisus, and this is the old Sona Navali, which is still my profile picture for YouTube, which I might change. I said I wouldn't, but I might change it to the bunny. Who knows? We'll see. I do really like his design and stuff, though. I would like to keep it, but they have definitely taken over my brain spaces. So I might pick the switch. But here's more Navali, kind of just doodling and stuff. More Navali. He's kind of like the venti character. Like, Nisus is like, kind of gets venti and stuff, like with certain moods, but like, Navali also gets a lot of attention when I'm like sad or whatever. There's super emo hair, but they kind of get a lot of attention when I'm going through it. Sketches, I don't know if these are random cats. I think that one's a random cat. This one, I think this is supposed to be Fire Paw, I think. Because I still work on the Warrior Cats animated, and I think I was just practicing back then. More cat drawings and stuff. I think I was trying to remember the style or kind of figure out how I would draw them, because I kind of get stuck in the style of how I draw it for work, technically. So I was kind of messing with that. More Navali, he's all droopy. A foot, no paws. Oh, I really like this drawing. This is a drawing of Maple Shade. I think I made this into a sticker. I don't know if that was the original idea behind this at the time, but I do really like her body proportions and stuff. This leg looks a little weird, but this body shape, that's really good. Who's this? This is Scrooge. Apparently his name is Scourge. I think that's so dumb. Anyway, this is Scourge. he's just being angsty. I love making like shoulders look like that, so I think I was kind of practicing it again because I kind of forgot how to do that a little bit, or like with the style change that I've had over the years, I kind of got like less into this swoopy hunched over thing. That's him, and this is Ashford. This is definitely for a sticker because I did make it a sticker. It's "You're going to love me." That's a My Little Pony quote, which is really funny. Here's more movie theater stuff. Here's more D. I think this is when we started to figure out what she actually looks like. Hands. I love drawing hands. Very controversial, but I freaking love drawing hands, okay? They're the best things to draw. These are my favorite drawings of hands. But that's more D. She is kind of figured out. I do really like those sketches. For some reason, I draw the best when I work in ballpoint pen. Who knows? Here's a running joke that D is like everybody basically, but she's definitely like me only, nobody else. D's me. We made D's me. No, she's very relatable, but I kind of do have this joke with her, and this is like a quote. So there's Ba kind of just pointing at D, and he says,
"You're starting to remind me of me, minus the charisma. An impressive cock."
Cyberpunk 2077 quote. By the way, you should really play that game. It's amazing. Also, Keanu Reeves is in it, so what are you doing with your life if you haven't played it? But I love that stupid quote. It's really funny. Ba has big dick energy, by the way, just so you know. Just so everybody's aware. Here's more of these. I guess I was really getting into sketches when I was at work and stuff. I would bring like these little notepads and stuff whenever I work at jobs and stuff, like service jobs. I'd always have some sort of little notebook thingy. I always had one, and that's what I would always make sure I had. If I didn't bring like the sketchbook or something, if it was something I could bring at all, I would always have these little notebook papers that I could draw in. So there's Michael. I really need to get back into drawing him. I used to draw him a ton, and that's how I kind of like figured out the story with this guy and his like OCs and stuff like that. Haven't done that. I should get back into that when I have the time. A lot of time is getting focused up on D. These are more D's World characters. This is kind of a breakdown of how to draw the character because my friend really wanted to like know how to draw them. So I kind of was trying to figure out how I draw them. I was trying to figure out how I draw them and kind of how I would break it down for people to draw with. So it's just telling you how to break it down. I use different colors and stuff. More Michael. I guess when I do default to him a lot. When I want to draw like human-y looking characters, I default to them a lot. So there's Bud again. I really like this one. The face is nice. That's cute. I guess I'll turn this one sideways. So there's more Michael. There's my favorite way to draw hands. This is from an animation concept. I know this frame. Or maybe this is from the pilot episode for the show. I'm pretty sure it might be from the pilot, because I think that happens in there. But I was trying to figure out how to draw it. Well, it does look really nice, considering it's just on receipt paper with a ballpoint pen. Sonic. I think one of my friends had requested that I draw Sonic. Somebody at work, maybe. And I could not, for the life of me, draw this freaking dude. I could not draw him, I guess. So I just kept going over the sketches and stuff. So these are here. I think I just untaped it. No, I didn't. This is just how it is. Because I think these are on sticky notes again. Always the sticky notes. But I finally got to an okay doodle of him. I think I was trying to get into like really taping stuff into the book because I do draw elsewhere. So I was trying to get into shoving things in here. Friend, I don't know what this is from. I have a habit of, I think this might be like in a drawing class or painting class or something like that. Maybe my color theory class, probably. Because I had to buy expensive paints for some of my classes, and I hated wasting it. So like, or like after I was done with like the class or something, or done like drawing or doing whatever, I hated wasting paint on the palette if I was like done with it and there was still so much paint there. So I would just smear it in my sketchbooks like this if I had them with me. I would just smear them in there and kind of make some weird creation thing. I don't think this is supposed to be anything in particular, but it does look cool. Obviously purple and yellow are good combos too. More Nisus, little hands. I guess that's it. Nisus. Painted desert fur con. Look at that. I think this is just my schedule and stuff I had printed out and drew on it. I printed out a map for the furry convention to figure out where everything was, because I think I brought this sketchbook with me too. This one, wash your paws. I have an art print of this, and I guess I'll throw it up on here. But I have an art print of Wash Your Paws. I just kind of like try to recreate it in my style, I guess. It's from FNAF Security Breach, obviously. Yeah. I think I tried to do some other ideas and stuff the first time. I hardly ever draw food or drinks. This came out really nice. I'm proud of that one. But I was making more posters and stuff, so I think I was just kind of trying to sketch out how I would want to draw these guys, which is like the old looking Bonnie, I guess. So I wanted to figure out how to do that. I really like this one. I'm probably gonna do this one again. More Freddy. I think those are supposed to be stickers. As you see, it says stickers. Because I think a lot of stickers, I have stickers of the Security Breach characters, because I really got obsessed with that for a while. I think I have stickers of them, but it's just their faces, and it's like icons already in the game and stuff, but these ones were supposed to be like original. This is supposed to be Vanny, if you can see her at all. I know she's really light. But yeah, I was trying to do full body stickers of them. What's this? I think I was supposed to remake a print, or no, this is from the main logo of the Mega Pizzaplex. So again, trying to draw in my style, figure out how I wanted to make it look, and then I was gonna sell prints of it, question mark. I don't think I make a good print, but I was gonna do that. Nice though. More Nisus. I want to say, oh, I know what this is from. So this is obviously the wolf from Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. This is obviously that wolf. I was coming up with the concept of how to make him into a fursuit. These are shitty drawings. But I was trying to figure out how I would make him into a fursuit, because I really want to get into fursuit making, and this was just one of the concepts for a little bit. Oh, I know what this is for. So I drew Novali, because this is when I was at the convention still, I guess. I don't know when I drew those, but this is for sure when I was at that. Painted Desert Fur Con. I sketched out Novali, and I expected people to draw on this page, but I guess they didn't. But there was this game called, like, a sketchbook swap. So you'd give people our sketchbooks and stuff, and they would kind of draw the characters. So I had, I think the idea was, like, you pass around, like, a picture of, like, your Sona and stuff, and then you'd share it that way. But at the time, I don't want to share my phone, obviously. For whatever, I didn't want to give people my phone, which is understandable, so valid. But, so I drew Novali, and then I had people draw them on there. So these are sketches from a bunch of different people at the FurCon. Yeah, I think they're really nice. I love seeing other people's art and stuff, and they're really fun doodles. And there's another one. And there's one more. This is caught red-handed. Yeah, I think that's all of them. But that was a really fun event. I've done that event actually a couple of times, like on my own, because it was really cool to do. But yeah, there's that. More Nisus. I don't know what these markers are. I think these are just like Crayola markers. It's like a Sharpie, but this is Crayola, I think. I'm pretty sure. I was just messing with that. More Nisus. So I think one of my friends who's a vendor here locally, they make reins and stuff, like harnesses and whatever. And I have one from them that's kind of like it just has bells on it. It's really cute. I wanted one for Nisus. I thought he'd look really nice in them, and I was kind of trying to figure out what kind of colors he would have on his face. I started making badges. This is when I had like really cheap markers and stuff, I think. And this is like a sketch of a badge I ended up giving to someone whose character's name's Toon. I sketched that out, but I have a different one. It obviously isn't in here because I gave it to him. Because I kind of ripped out the page and stuff to make the badge. Nisus and the volley. My friend, more Nisus. Here is, so one of my art vending things, I was making like a new version of Ba, I guess. This is really cute, if you can even see the face and stuff, but this sketch is really cute. But I was trying to come up with like a different design for Ba, my persona, and I was getting into paint a little bit, or I had extra paint maybe, whatever it was. I think it was just because I was learning all this stuff about painting and color and stuff at the time, so I kind of painted like a new clothing for Ba. It does look nice, and it's also on like my portfolio thing. I painted on top of it, and that was kind of also the testing for this. I think I had sketched this out just by itself initially, and then only after the fact that I actually painted. Because when I was trying to, like, I didn't want to sketch it again, so I just ended up painting over the original sketches. It was nice. I think that one came out okay. There's that better Ba, the ideal Ba. So it was kind of like advertising. It was like marketing kind of stuff. Advertising kind of stuff. The ideal Ba. So they had bigger eyes, happy face. They were brighter, so they had brighter colors. That's what that's called. The better Ba. They were really funny. So I was also kind of coming up with a banner for my stuff, my art booth and all that. And yeah, so that's the better Ba. I think they were kind of like part robot and stuff. I don't think you can see that on any of this. And they kind of have like a disconnected jaw. You can kind of see it. So I think they were kind of trying to be like a robot, or I was trying to be like a more obvious, like, because I was really inspired by Security Breach at the time, so I was trying to be like animatronic kind of thing. That's why the ears are like that too. They're kind of disconnected from the face. But I do like the design for them. I like the little cape, hood, poncho thing. I really like that. There's more me. I think this is when I started using different markers. These might be with SOOO markers. I'm pretty sure they are. Maybe? Hold on. Blues. There's more markers, sketches. There's Nisus. His face looks really weird. This is the more watercolor. I've always been scared with watercolor because I feel like I'm supposed to be doing like works like this with watercolor and not so much like just drawing stuff. So I've been really scared of watercolor, but I love watercolor. I love the way it looks. I'm too scared to do it. Anyway, so there's that. This is supposed to be Celestine, from Ernest and Celestine. I think I had watched the movie at the time, that or I was thinking about it. It'd come out nice. And the movie's like watercolored, so, or it has that kind of vibe to it, so. This is my friend again, Freddie. Let's see those are SOOO markers. Probably. There's my friend again. I was getting really into like this cutesy style. I've been wanting to practice it again actually, because I want, if I make like super cute like chibi looking stickers, I want to kind of go with these kind of big eyes and style and stuff. I want to go with that. Because like again, I'm obsessed with like older 2000s kind of stuff. So like anime wolves and stuff like that, and the big anime eyes like I used to draw when I was a kid are really a big deal for me, and so I like kind of getting that stuff in my designs. This is a D's World character actually. I think his name is also Michael. He's there. There's not that much to do with him. I think I was messing with like lineless drawing with the markers, which did come out really nice, but it looks nothing like the character now. So it might as well not be him. There's more of him. He's starting to take shape around here, I think. There's him. There's more markers. I was trying to come up with like random stuff to draw. This might have been something I was trying to make, like a SOOO maybe. Or maybe like a weird version of Navali. No idea. What's that one? I think it's a hyena. More Navali. More of that guy. Michael. Her. I do really like the colors on this one. They're a little like all over the place, but like the shinies and stuff. I love markers too. That was a drawing. I think it was before I did this one. So, Professor Venomous from OKKO. He's the only guy I care about from that show. My OC Michael. The colors came out really nice on this. I was surprised. They're not accurate, I think. I mean, on camera they look a little more accurate, but in real life they're not super accurate. But the way I colored it in was really nice. There's D. A little hyper realistic looking because of like, again, the texture I try to add when I do markers. I think this is another Navali to try and cover with marker. Painting class, I think I smeared my color swatches on there or something. I did the same thing again. I really hate wasting paint, but at the same time I waste paint anyway. Oh dear. But yeah, just kind of color smears. Oh, and it still looks cool. I mean, they're funky little shapes. Okay, I don't know why that page said that. More of my friends. This is like a quote from some character. Another random character to mess with the markers. Here's more D. There's me trying to figure out. This is like a really, really rough sketch of like her turnaround. So you can see it's like front facing, 3/4, side view, stuff like that. Really rough stuff. More D's World. I don't know why they're at the back. But here's one of the characters. Again, turn around. This character is one of my favorites to design, I think. Mostly in her face. She's a really fun design. She's a giraffe. Her name's Rosa. She's really pretty. I love the way her hair looks in here. She doesn't look this way in the thing. But, I mean, the way she actually looks is a little more true to her character. This is kind of more leaning very cartoony. But I do really like this side profile of her. Looks really good. Another D's World character. He's really hard to draw. And he's really more unique. His name is Raymond. He's really unique. The more nicest. I think I was trying to figure out an outfit to wear for him. For some reason that he's supposed to be like lovey-dovey, artistic kind of character. So I always tend to default to a turtleneck sweater for some reason when I draw characters like that. No idea why. Bluey was getting really into that, I think. Or maybe I was just in the mood to draw her. So there's some Bluey, trying to figure out the colors. I think I was trying to do something with it or something, or maybe just messing with stuff. I don't know. They look really bad. These are more markers. These are random characters again. I got really, really, really unique with them. I like this one. I like the little like the way like the color changes into the hair. It's really nice. Pretty cool. And then there's that. It's supposed to end like this. Yeah, there's the end of that sketchbook. Whew. A lot of work stuff. This is actually the only one I've ever kind of finished in like this pile of sketchbooks and stuff.